G'day, welcome back to Dad vs Son, and we are going on with Fields of Fire Volume 1. We're going to try something a bit different today, and we're going to actually go to Vietnam, and we're going to attempt Mission 1, Operation Ala Moana, which is December 1st, 1966 through February 28, 67. It's an offensive going into a cold LZ, or LZ if that's the way you pronounce it, into a plantation, and we are going to try and kick some butt. Our company is set up like this. This is Charlie Company. We have the company headquarters, who is green, the XO, who is line, the first sergeant, who is a veteran. We have 4 platoons. First platoon is line, second platoon green, third platoon green, and I've taken 4th platoon short rather than taking the mortar section, and they are line. With the assets themselves, I've given the CO, the Red Star cluster and Red Star parachute, the Green Star parachute to the XO, the cluster to the CO, and then 2 coloured smoke to each platoon, along with 1 normal smoke and 1 Willie Pete. Now, my idea is that any coloured smoke, being red or purple, and as you can see, I've given those to those. So red and purple smoke is red smoke is a ceasefire. Yellow smoke is a switch fire. Purple is switch fire, and green is a ceasefire as well. So that gives every platoon the chance to either cease or switch fire. The Red Star cluster and the Red Star, the Red Parachute flare, are both ceasefire, and the same with the Green Star cluster and parachute flare as well. Okie dokie. We have 7 of 11th 105 in fire support, which will give us 5 HE fire missions and 2 Willie Pete fire missions. We have 3 of 13th 155mm or 8-inch as well, who will give us 2 HE fire missions. We have the 4th of the 9th Mortar Platoon, who will give us 2 3 HE and 2 Willie Pete fire missions, and we have 2 airstrikes. So we have a mortar FO, artillery FO, and a FAC with this as well, forward air controller. The enemy are in delay mode and are veteran. This is a day mission, 10 turns long. Righto, the board, the battlefield itself. And I've gone to this camera angle so I can keep going between the 3 main areas. So what we have is a 5x5 grid, the outside grid, unknown terrain, and every potential contact marker is a random A, B, or C. We have our LZ, LZ in the middle in elephant grass. We have a rubber plantation, a village, bamboo, a gully, brush, rice paddy, rubber plantation, and elephant grass. So my idea is to get some people on the ground and then hopefully open up some other LZs so that we can spread out a bit. We have to clear a minimum of 12 cards, which will be interesting, and our enemy are VC, not NBA. So anything's possible. Other asset-wise, we've been given 3 flights of Hueys and 1 flight of CH-47 Chinooks, and I've done them up into their force packages. Now, this is the slightly more cerebral part of it. So I watched Gimpy's great playthrough of this again that he did quite a while ago. And I originally thought about basically following what he'd done, which was to send basically one platoon in, because they're our best platoon as such. And then I thought, well, the trouble is comms. Until I can get the CO into the LZ to actually start giving some commands, trying to clear the LZ for the next mob coming in could be difficult. So what I've decided to do is I've gone with 4 platoon, which is a short platoon. It only has 2 reduced squads, 1 and 2 of 4. And I'm going to send them in with the 60mm mortar team to give them some a bit more heavy firepower. And I'm also going to send in the company first sergeant and the artillery fort observer to give them some heavy firepower if needed. And they'll go in on the first 4 Iroquois. My second stick is going to be 1 platoon, and they're going to take in the mortar FO and the CO as well. So get him on the ground, start building commands. Now, I know I could leave him back in the staging area and he can start feeding commands to 2 and 3 platoon and all the rest of it. But whilst they're sitting back here, they can get their own commands anyway. So this way I can try and get in to the actual AO and start to do some hopefully better commanding in there. The third stick will be 2 platoon with 1 platoon's weapons teams, the FAC and the company XO. They're going to go in on the Chinooks. And then the final will go in is 3 platoon with their weapons teams. So that is my cunning plan at the moment. So I've got 4 platoon inbound. I've got 1 platoon loaded up, ready to depart. And if need be, I can always get 1 platoon or 2 or 3 to loiter for 1 turn before we get into there. So, like I said, that's the cunning plan. I think it gives us the best chance of clearing the LZ before the following waves come in, and go from there, seeing as we have a maximum of each of the Iroquois sticks of 12 coming in. That means I can leave the CO and the mortar FO and if need be the RDFO and all the rest of that sort of stuff in there full time so that they can actually get the fire support going. Now the other difference with this to the World War II or Korea is we're using the PRC 25 sets, prick 25s, and we don't need line of sight as such. So these radios can reach the whole of the AO itself, the whole of the battlefield. So that gives us a lot better comms right from the start. So if we can, that gives us a chance to maintain a better order of battle and hopefully be able to react to whatever the VC throw at us. So a lot of the things we're going to run into this time is probably booby traps and snipers and so forth. Where we may get worried is if we start to get things like human waves and so forth. But hey, you never know. So I think that's it. So we'll get into it. So first things first. The other thing, is that like Gimpy found out and said as well, is if we have commands, we have to use them to start with on the helicopters. And then anything that's left over we can use for other purposes. So let's see what we get. So first up, normal thing, there's no higher HQ event phase on turn 1. So we go straight into the command phase. So the CO is going to get 4 commands. So it's 4 commands, +1 for no contact, -1 for him being green. So that's 4 commands. So, yep, comes up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to utilize those 4 commands straight up to command the 4 helicopters in the first stick with 4 platoon and their people on it. At the same time, we're going to order up the second stick as well. So, yeah, 8 commands, who cares? Doesn't matter. That's the way it goes. And we have nothing left over to give the other platoon commanders or anybody else any further commands. Right. So that's that. So that stick is activated and that stick is activated. The idea being is 4 platoon, when we get to the vehicle aircraft movement phase, or phase itself, we'll go from inbound to the LZ, and 1 platoon and its follow-ons will depart the LZ and become inbound. At that time, we will stage 2 platoon and its assets ready to depart as well. Okay. So the next part is the platoon and staff impulse, which we don't have anything, so it's going to go straight in to the initiative segment. So let's come back over. I hope this doesn't make you seasick, airsick, whatever. So first up we have 1 platoon who will get 2 commands and they're aligned, so they'll get +1 because of the no contact, so they have 3 commands and can't do anything with them. So they're just going to bank them. 2 platoon will get 1, +1 for no contact, -1 for being green, so 1 command. 3 platoon will get 3, +1, -1 again, so 3 commands. And 4 platoon will get 3, +1 for no contact because they're line. So they will get 4. And again, they bank them. The XO will get 1 command, as per usual, and the sergeant will get 1 command to bank as well. And CO is finished. Then we have general initiative. And general initiative, we're going to get 3 commands, but we basically can't do anything with them, so it doesn't really matter. And then we go into the enemy side. So their HQ event, as usual, starts turn 2, so there's nothing. Enemy activity check, there are no enemy. Mutual capture and retreat, there is nothing, so we go into the vehicle aircraft phase. So come over here. Okay, so basically 4 platoons stick of 4 are going to come in and land in the LZ, and everybody's going to jump off the choppers. And as per usual, swap that over, they've moved, they're exposed, and they're exposed. Now at the same time as that happens, 1 platoon now has departed the LZ from the staging area and is inbound. And 2 platoon in the Chinooks is ready to depart with 3 platoon still in the staging area. So if need be and we can't get off the LZ, that gives a chance for the second stick to loiter for 1 turn before coming in. Right, so we've done that. Then it's the update fire missions. There's nothing. Evaluate potential contacts. There is no potential contact in the LZ itself. Combat effects segment. Again, there's nothing. So clean up phase, and we remove the exposed markers. And we are done with turn 1. So we have 4 platoon now on the ground, feeling very, very lonely because it's going to take 4 turns before we get everybody on the ground. And they're going to have to start finding us another, clear another LZ for us as well. We can have a maximum of 3. And basically any card, terrain card that has a little helicopter on it can be used as an LZ once it's cleared. So our choices are the village, the brush, this elephant grass, and this rice paddy. So what I would prefer to use would be the village or the brush because of the inherent value of defense value of +2 on them, whereas the rice paddy is a 0 and the elephant grass is a 1. So that's that. What else we got? Nothing. So turn 1, over and done with, pretty easy. Things can only get worse from here. So next turn, we'll try and get 4 platoon to get enough commands so that we can hopefully split up and clear off a couple of new zones, but I'm not holding my breath. It really depends on whether we can get enough commands. So at the moment, we're not doing too bad. We've got 4 commands for 4 platoon at the moment, and they should pick up hopefully another 1 or 2, so that should give us a little bit of freedom of movement. It's just that I don't want to start splitting off assault teams and stuff like that because I can't afford to leave too many assets in here with the next sticks coming in. So whereas I would usually split off an assault team and use them as basically a scouting force to trip any trouble, I'm going to have to use the reduced squads themselves, which means they've got a little bit more firepower, which is great, but it also means that they're potentially going to take a lot more casualties as well. So, thanks for watching. Let me know if I screwed up too much, and I'll see you back here for turn 2. Take care, have fun, catch you later.